program. We'll have Karen Aston and Demara Allen on in a little while from the women's team. We start off today with Austin Claunch, UTSA men's basketball coach. I know that Saturday wasn't the game that you wanted to see from the team. First 15 minutes were pretty good, but how has the team responded in the last couple of days in practice and getting ready for 2 trips to North Carolina?
Yeah, it was disappointing because we played really well in Tampa for a majority of that game against the team that's at the top of the league, and then come home and just the last 24 minutes was, I thought for the first time in a long time, we weren't competing hard enough. In North Texas is a Danielle is doing a great job, and they're a tough physical team, and we didn't respond the right way in the second half. And so it was great to see us come out today and have the practice we did, really physical, really hard-nosed, and, going on the road, that's what it's going to take to win against a really hard-playing ECU team, starting with them on Wednesday. And so, yeah, it's back on the horse, and here we go.
Yeah, the South Florida game I thought was one of the more encouraging games of the year. To see the ball go through the basket and to score 88 points was really big.
Yeah, no, and it was in the flow of the game of how we want to play too. I thought we got good shots. It wasn't just like we were running around and jacking. I thought we pushed an early offense. We shared the ball, and they're a really tough cover, obviously, with how they play. And so I was really encouraged with really the whole game until the last. I mean, it's an 8-point game at the under 8, and then that gave us a lot of confidence going into Saturday. So, having the lead for the majority of the first half, again, that last 3 minutes in the first half took its toll, and we weren't able to recover. We really challenged our guys today at practice, probably even more than we have in a while. And they had a great day. We've got a long travel day tomorrow, so we got to make sure that we're rested and we're understanding, what it's going to take to beat ECU.
Yeah, I think that's one thing that's different in this era of coaching than it was maybe 20, 30 years ago, is that the rest factor is important. The practices aren't as long this year, but you got to get a lot in a shorter amount of time. But then you got to go recover and get ready for that game because they happen so quickly.
Yeah, no doubt, and especially I haven't. I know everyone goes through it. I have not been through a year like this from an injury standpoint. Got some other guys even today that are a little bit banged up, and we needed to have a physical, really hard-nosed practice today, and we did. Of course, Austin got hurt at the end of that last game. Looks like he's okay, but it's sort of a day-to-day thing in regards to Wednesday and moving in later in the week. So, but yeah, I mean, we had the great spirit and energy. And so tomorrow is going to be really important from a preparation standpoint.
North Texas is a team that likes to steal the ball. I think 10th in the nation in steals. They turn teams over. You turned them over. It was the transition defense that was the big number. That 32-7 or 34-7 transition defense, points off turnovers, was a huge number Saturday.
Yeah, it's been the biggest kind of Achilles heel this year that's been different for some of our teams we've had in the past. Turning it over, that's something that our teams have never really done, and I just haven't done a good enough job in just helping our guys in early offense. And then, with the North Texas game, that was disappointing just because I did feel it was the first time in a few games we just didn't execute certain things that we had talked about as a team. I thought we had really done a great job with game prep and understanding certain things. And North Texas, like you said, they take your ball, and they were able to do that, I think, because we over-dribbled a little bit and at times missed, open guys and tried to drive single gaps. And a team like that will punish you.
Well, here's an observation from my point, and I've seen this with other teams before. A team that hasn't won a conference game yet would have folded the 10 a long time ago. This team is not. And you bring up the point that you had a great physical, energetic, fun practice today, and that's not typically what a team that's 0-11 in conference would do. I think that speaks highly of what this entire group and the positivity that you guys have.
Well, yeah, I think that's why Saturday's second half was such a surprise, because they didn't show that character, and I told our staff, that comes back on me. We got to come out of halftime with a better plan to give them that energy and bring that juice and execute the things that we need to execute. And again, that's listen. 4 or 5 straight games we've been in the fight and played really well. You're not going to be perfect. These guys aren't robots, and we just didn't have it in that second half. And so we knew that they would respond today the way that that they needed to. Had a great practice, and we expect us to come out and get the win on Wednesday.
How about Brent Moss in the 32? He scored the other night at South Florida. Good to see him going. You need that outside shooting with some of the injuries you had.
No doubt. Him and Jameer are going to carry a huge part of the scoring load, moving forward. And that's all. I mean, that's sort of been the case throughout the course of the year with Brent. I think he's just continuing to get more comfortable, with what he's doing in our system and where the shots are coming from. And I thought he just really, really kept it simple at South Florida. When you open, shoot it. When you're not, pass it. But he had that green light mentality, and it showed.
Those injuries you talked about, they just seem to come. We lose somebody, we find a solution. Then we lose somebody else, we try to find a solution, and then at some point you're running out of bodies to have the solutions that you need.
Well, I mean, listen, it's everyone goes through these things. It is what it is, and quite frankly, I mean, we haven't quite found the solution. We've got to keep looking for different ways to impact the game and help these guys play their best basketball. And excited for Wednesday because they play really hard. Us and them are at the bottom of the league right now. But this is going to be a really competitive basketball
I think so,
game
yeah.
with teams flying around and competing. Jordan Riley's obviously a great player. We've got to have a good plan to neutralize him and make it tough on him.
What do you think of the strength of this conference at the top? And it seems like there's 2 or 3 teams that are really. Is this a 2-bid league for the tournament in your mind?
Well, I think certainly the talent of the team, how these teams are playing, certainly warrants that. I'm not a bracketologist, so I don't necessarily know the metrics and different things where everyone stands. But there's really, I mean, you even look at the non-conference. I think there's been some teams in our league that have gone and really shown what they can do against other teams, not just Power 4, but other teams in the league. I mean, there's some really big non-conference wins. The one that pops up to mind is South Florida over Utah State, and a team that's certainly going to be an at-large bid, and I could go down the line. And so, yeah, listen, it's certainly one of the best leagues in the country. And certainly deserves multiple bids.
All right, we'll talk more with Austin coming up in a second. Also introduce you to Jameer Simpson straight ahead. All that coming out here out at Roca and Martillo. honors the stars who serve in our military is the official military appreciation sponsor. We have 2 stars tonight. One of them is Jameer Simpson, and we get to know them better during our USAA Stars of the Week segment. I mentioned it's Jameer Simpson. Welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm doing good. How are you?
Very well. Thank you for being out here this evening. And this has been a really tough year. But you're one of the senior leaders, and you've seen a lot of basketball throughout your years. How are you as a leader of this team trying to get the guys through this and stay positive? And Austin mentioned you had a great practice today. A lot of teams with less character would not be able to do that.
You know, we got a lot of such of young guys in our program, so it's like just keeping their mental straight and just telling them to play with confidence.
Have you been through anything like this before in any stage of your career that you can reflect on or know people who have?
I haven't personally because every program I've been to, I've always been one of the youngest, so I always got to be one of the person to look up to someone that's older than me and get to learn from them. So this is kind of a big adjustment for me, so I'm kind of excited for it.
You like that you like being the senior leader and kind of getting those young guys through all the ups and downs?
Yes, sir.
That's pretty cool. All right, now we talked about this earlier in the year. Your game certainly resembles that of James Harden. The way you dribble, the way you shoot, the way you get to the basket, the little back step. Take us through how you developed that and where all that came from.
Just grinding with my pops. You know, he always try to make me be a scorer and just believe in myself. And with me watching the game as well, just knowing what others at the highest level can do, I try to look at that and see where I can add to my game and just be irrelevant.
Is James an idol, somebody you look up to that you like?
Yes, him and Kevin Durant.
All right, talk about, and those guys both played in Oklahoma City together. Is that where that started?
I think it did, yes.
Yeah, all right. Austin, talk about Jameer and what he's meant to this program this year for his season here with the Roadrunners.
Well, he's a dream to coach. He's a pro. The way he attacks his work and his game on and off the floor every single day is why he's going to play this game for a really long time. And you know, he just kind of mentioned it, and just you can even just hear as he says it, just the kind of person he is. This hasn't gone exactly the way from a win-loss standpoint we wanted it to go. But he knows as his journey continues, this adversity that he's going through as a captain and as a leader is going to really, really propel him when he gets in similar adversity moving forward in his career. And he's taking it head on. He's the same person every single day. And again, when we do start winning the end of this year and as we start moving into next year, you know, it wouldn't be without him, you know, the type of people. And we've had injuries. This is a guy that's had a lot thrown at him. You know, he's expected to play with some older guys that are banged up. And he's just been a consummate leader for these young guys and shown up every single day.
So take us through that background. You mentioned your dad, and he was Mr. Ohio back in his day, and the relationship you have with him, how he's developed your game.
With my dad, he was Ohio two-time Mr. Basketball. Him just being with his game and doing all the things he did, you know, it always been a pressure on me because of what he did in his lifetime and what he had to do. So with me, it's always been a different type of grind, and I just had to keep working. He always pushed me to be the best that I can be, and he always seen the potential I had, and he knew that I can play D1 one day, and that was my dream, to play at any Division I level and just show my talents.
A lot of times people follow in the footsteps of a parent who was really successful at that, but you still have to develop that love for the game. Where did that come from for you?
Probably when I told him in 5th grade that I actually wanted to play, and he was like, do you want to just play as in just be a player, or do you want to be somebody inside of this game? And I told him I wanted to do what he did, so he was like, all right, this is what we're going to focus on.
So you wanted to play, and a lot of people just want to go out and have fun and see if they can do it, but then there's the parent that says, okay, if you want to get to your fullest potential and get to that D1 level and beyond that's pretty good. To talk about him pushing you a little bit, because sometimes kids don't want it or parents don't want to do it, but you seem to have both going.
Oh, yeah, it was plenty of days, you know, I wanted to give up, but in the back of my mind, I knew, like, he was pushing me to be better and be a better person as well, because where we grew up from, you know, he was one of them guys that was the only person, like, being the number two person in the country, in the world, to show his talent. So he knew what to expect out of me, and just to play with confidence and just be a good guy.
All right, so let's talk about your future. Obviously, there's all kinds of pro leagues all over the world. Everybody dreams of playing in the NBA at some point. So take us what you hope your journey is in the future.
Just to keep grinding. You know, my dream is always to play in the NBA one day, but, you know, overseas they make a lot of money as well, so I'm really grateful with either one. I just got to put the work in and just stick to it.
When you like doing what you do, going to practice, going to work out, going to the gym, doing all that kind of stuff, it's not really a job, is it? It's just something that you're going to do anyway.
Right. It's more of just outside of basketball, you know, this is something I can see myself doing forever.
Awesome. Jameer, all the best in the world to you. Hopefully we get a win here soon so we have something to celebrate. And I'm sure you'll do great, whatever it is you do going on in your future. It's been fun so far to watch you, and we got a few more games at least this year.
Yes, I appreciate it, you know, trying to get us one here soon, hopefully on the road here.
Hopefully Wednesday night.
Yes, sir.
Awesome. All right, that's Jameer Simpson with us out here at the show. We'll get one more second. first of 2 games this week, and the first opponent is the Pirates Wednesday night. Talk about them. What do they have in store for us?
Well, they're, and again, I said a similar thing with North Texas. Maybe not in the same way in that they turn you over. They don't turn you over as much as North Texas, but they play extremely hard. They rebound. They're physical. They have the leading scorer in the league in Jordan Riley, who is just playing at an incredible level. We've got to really be in tune with how we want to guard. And then on the other side of the ball, they really mix it up. They're going to play some man-to-man and switch everything. They're going to play some zone. Coach Schwartz does a really good job of keeping you guessing, keeping you on your toes. So, we've got to be, we've got to be sure on both sides of the ball of what we're looking to accomplish.
We're looking at this game as they've only won twice. Here's one we can get. They're looking at it as we've won twice. We still have a chance to catch Rice in North Texas. So when we talk about this being a really good basketball game, there's a lot on it for both teams.
Yeah, well, I think we approach everyone like that
yeah,
way,
sure.
and we've played a lot of the last. Temple, UAB, and South Florida, 3 of the teams near the top of the league, and we were right there in all those games. So, and ECU is playing better. They beat FAU at FAU. They played Temple really close this past weekend.
North Texas.
They beat North Texas the game after we played North Texas. Mm-hmm. And so, again, their style is physicality, playing hard. They're not going to necessarily overcomplicate you offensively, which is not a bad thing. They're going to really play to their strengths. And Jordan Riley's a heck of a player, and they have guys around him that really complement him.
And that's a school in our league, as much as any, that I think the fans come out and really support their teams, no matter what their records are.
I remember last year on that Sunday game, I think it was, an awesome environment there. He's done a great job. He's in year 4. They've started. I know this year they've had. Like us, they've had a bunch of injuries. It's going to be a big sweatsuit game for both teams. A lot of guys sitting over there in sweatsuits that we wanted to be playing. Last year, they obviously had a really good team, and this year he's done a great job with that program, and they've got a lot of support there. And I'm excited to go there and obviously bring the fight.
When you play a scorer like Riley, how do you make him take more shots and hopefully he misses some of them? Are you trying to get him off his? How do you get him off his game as much as you can?
Well, listen, you can't overreact when you score. You got to be really happy when you make him take a lot of shots to score. I told our guys, he's going to score. I think in his last 3 games he has 35, 32, and 37. He's going to find his way to 20, but we have to make him take a lot of shots as he does that. Got to stay between him and the rim. He's shooting it well this year, but he is an elite athlete who really gets to the cup. So he's got to see a lot of bodies, and we have to be in the gaps.
All right, so you were talking about practice day being good. What are you trying to work on? What's the theme right now on what UTSA needs to do, what you want to see from this team?
Well, today's practice was in total response to the last 20 minutes we played, which there wasn't enough physicality. There wasn't enough first to the floor. There wasn't enough first to the ball. And so today's practice was all about that, and it was all about us. Tomorrow, like I said, will be a big preparation day with ECU and talk about how they guard and what we'll do against certain things. But today was about us, and it needs to be more about us and playing our best ball and being the best version of ourselves.
And I don't think we've seen that. We've seen spurts of it, but not for 40 minutes or even 37 or 38 where you could win a game like that.
No question. We have and for me it's runs. We tend to maybe make a 5. Like we haven't found that 9-0, 10-0 run where we're down 3 and we're up 7, or we're up 3 and we're up 13.
Right.
And we've got to find that, and then we've got to turn around and we've got to get crucial, timely stops. And that's what we plan on seeing Wednesday.
All right, early bus tomorrow, so we'll look forward to that.
6 a.m., baby. Let's do it.
All right. Thanks, Austin.
Thanks, Andy.
All right, that's Austin Claunch. today after a split last week and a loss to UAB. Karen Aston joins us.
Hello.
You have a special guest here
Oh,
tonight.
yeah, I always have a little guest with me.
Yeah.
This is Marilyn.
This is Marilyn. Yes, this is your daughter, right?
Mm-hmm. Say yes.
Want to say hi, Marilyn? You just want to listen?
Yeah.
All right. We won't make you talk too much tonight. Anyway, let's talk about the win first. That was a big bounce back against a good Tulsa team.
Yeah, we definitely want to talk about the win first. It was a really, really good team win. It was probably one of the best games that we've put together on both ends of the floor.
And what did you see from the difference in that game than the UAB game? What was the quick turnaround? Because UAB was one of those games you talked about a few days ago about kind of scaring you a little bit, that they had won a game and they got some confidence, and they certainly continued with that.
Yeah, that's exactly what we ran into, was a team that had just come off of a hot win. And, you know, part of the I guess the dynamic that we're not grasping, and maybe we do now, is just the fact of how desperate everybody is because of the three teams not getting in this year.
Yeah.
And in particular, I told the team, I said, you know, how would you feel if the tournament was here? And you're on the bottom, you know, looking up right now, and you possibly won't make the tournament, and it's in your home site.
Right.
So I think we just didn't factor all of that in. You know, it was a tough road trip. It's not an easy, really super easy place to get to, and we just weren't ready to play. I mean, I don't have a lot of excuses, and I don't think the girls would either. But I was really proud of the bounce back.
And sometimes that just happens. You don't plan for it to happen, and you start the game, and everything you try just goes south, and
yeah,
anything you try doesn't work.
And it was kind of like that. I mean, to be honest with you, their playing style is very similar to Tulsa's. You know, Tulsa's obviously you know, one of the top teams in the league right now, and have been playing really, really well. But aside from that, the playing styles are very similar. So to see us so dramatically change our mindset defensively on Saturday was very encouraging for me.
At this stage of the season, what do you think the team is doing best in playing, where its best skills are?
I mean, we've been great defensively all year, and there hasn't been too many games that I've thought our defense didn't just give us a chance to win a game or help us win one. That the UAB game, and I would probably say maybe the Memphis game on the road, are the two games that kind of stand out as not being great. But I think we've been able to hang our hat on the defensive end most of the year. I think what's helped us now is that we're maturing offensively a little bit as far as making extra passes and making decisions that aren't premeditated, are predetermined. I think sometimes we do that offensively, and I think we're starting to feel the game a little bit better. And that I think if we can get our assist turnover ratio up, and in particular our assist rate up, we're going to be a hard team to beat.
Young teams sometimes don't understand how defense can lead to easier offense, and that obviously was what happened against Tulsa to some extent.
For sure. I mean, we definitely are a team that's pretty good in transition, but I just thought that we made their shots difficult. I thought we made them make decisions that maybe they haven't had to make lately offensively. And then on the offensive end, I just thought we shared the ball really well. We were great on the inside. But that had a lot to do with just the fact that we let the offense come to us and we didn't force things.
I think it was only her fourth game, but Adara Udo back, 18 points and limited minutes too.
Yeah, she looked sharper on Saturday. I mean, we definitely, with the amount of time that she was off, and I said that this morning in the press conference. You know, you couldn't have expected her to come back and be sharp. Mm-hmm. She missed. You know, I mean, she was out the week before we went home for Christmas and has been out since then. So I think it's definitely going to take her a little bit of time to get her timing back. And you see a little bit more each game. You know, she'll be closer to full go tomorrow than she has been. So, because right now she's still minute limited. So, but she definitely looked sharper on Saturday.
Yeah, and you talked about this a couple of shows ago. It doesn't matter how hard you work. The adrenaline's not there till the lights come on and the ball goes in the air.
There's a difference in game conditioning. I mean, as much as we want to run and do all that work in the summer, you know, it's still, there's a difference in the game. And there's a difference in being in game condition.
And you're right now, you're just trying to win as many games as you can, get the best seed possible to have the best chance to get through the conference tournament.
Absolutely. Absolutely. I think, you know, everybody's feelings are across the board. I mean, you can feel it. You can feel it when you play, that everybody's worried about who's not getting in and everybody's worried about seeding because of the bye situation. And it's made it really interesting. And I told the players before we went to Tulsa that it almost feels a little bit heavy. You know, I heard one of the commentators talking about how they were commentating. I don't even remember what game I was watching, but they talked about how the players looked like it felt heavy to them. I think it was East Carolina and somebody, but it does kind of feel like that a little bit.
Do you like it that there's only 10 teams going to the tournament, or would you like it everybody gets to go?
I'm not a fan. I'm not a fan of it at all, and it just comes from the fact that we're a 2-semester sport. We train all summer. These players, these coaches, you know, I mean, everybody that's involved with your program, they're working other than about, 2-3 weeks out of the year.
Right.
And to do all of that and not get a chance to go, I mean, I understand the philosophy behind hoping that you get more than one bid.
Right.
I think that's the whole point of all this. I hope that's all it is. I hope it's not cost cut or anything like that, because that would really be a problem to me. But I just think the kids should be rewarded for the work that they do, and the staff.
All right, we're going to visit with DeMar Allen coming up in the next segment, and UTSA's got a home date tomorrow with Temple, and a rematch with South Florida. And a rematch with South Florida coming up this weekend as well. We are joined on the program by Demara Allen, one of UTSA's top players. 9 points and 7 boards the other day in the game at Tulsa. Welcome to the show. How are you doing tonight?
I'm good. How are you?
Let's move that microphone just a little bit closer there. How's that? You doing all right?
Yeah.
Okay, good deal. Take us through the Tulsa game. 9 points for you, and how this team responded after the loss to UAB the other night.
I felt like we really picked it up after the UAB loss. I felt like it was really fun to play that game. We played really well with each other. We moved the ball and did everything Coach told us to do, and we came back victorious, and it was really fun.
All right, take us through this season so far. What's that been like for you and your role on the team, and obviously playing good basketball right now?
There's been a lot of ups and downs, but I feel like I've learned a lot as a player on the court and off the court, and it's just been really fun seeing our team come together and mesh with each other more than we did back in the fall. So that's been really fun, just seeing all of it come together.
Karen, talk about Demara and what she's done for this team so far this year, and the role that you have her playing on the team.
Well, I mean, she's taken a role that I'm not necessarily sure that she expected it to be at the capacity that it's been. Her minutes are they're a lot. I mean, she's being asked to do a lot. I normally put her on someone's best perimeter player. We're asking her to score the basketball. We want her to be try to develop some leadership skills and sort of take over some of that a little bit. So it's been a lot, I think, for her to digest, and I've seen her grow tremendously. I mean, now she looks like a veteran to me now. You know.
Demara, talk about that and the role that she's given you. That means she trusts you, and you've got some added responsibility.
Yes, I feel like coming into this role from last year being a freshman, it's been a lot, but I feel like just like getting the next play mentality, I've adapted to that really well, and just listening and just learning from my older peers like Idara and Maya. That's really helped me this year.
What's it like learning from those older players and the successes they've had here?
I feel like they have a lot of knowledge and they know what they're talking about on the court, and I just ask for as much advice as I can from them, and just coming to practice every day, being prepared, and giving all I got 100% on the court.
All right, you are a former track athlete. Take us through those days. What was that like?
Well, I ran track for a little bit. I wasn't really like an athlete. I did it during my off season, so it was the transition from high school to AAU. I just did track to stay in shape.
What were your events?
I did triple jump, long jump, and high jump. I was a jumper. I didn't like running.
Yeah. Well, you were a 17 and under national champ on what I was reading the other day, so you had to be pretty good at it.
Yeah.
And what was it that attracted you to basketball and to make that transition from track to basketball?
Well, I did basketball first. I just did track because I wanted to do it in my free time and become like faster for basketball. So I really only did track because of basketball.
When did you realize, hey, I'm pretty good at this basketball thing, I can maybe make a scholarship out of it?
Maybe like 8th grade.
Okay. Take us through that and what that was like for you when the light bulb came on and said, I like this is fun, and I'm good at it, and I can go to college someday with it.
I feel like I was always the best player on my team. Everything really ran through me. So just being in that position, I knew that I could like definitely do something. And then also going to Hardwood during my AAU season, that's when everything really started to click for me.
So what's it like when you are the best player on your high school teams and you have to come and you're playing with everybody else who was the best player on their teams, making that adjustment?
For AAU?
For any of it, AAU or making the transition to UTSA?
I feel like playing with other good players helped me become a better player. So just being around those people and surrounding myself with people who want to be there and be in the gym is just made me really good.
Karen, talk about that aspect, because you recruit a lot of players. So the best player on their team, they come in and they realize, okay, not only are there players ahead of me, but they're just as good as I am.
I think that's one thing that really attracted me to Demara was just the fact that she was able to be goal focused in the summer, and I mean high school obviously, but she did play on a club team that was extremely talented, and she blended and did her job. She didn't try to do too much. I mean, she knew that she had a certain area that she was going to help that team win. They all knew that, and I knew that she would be one of those players that, first of all, she wants to win. That's first and foremost. She's a winner. But then second, she understands that everything's not going to go through you all the time at the college level. And I think she's right. I think being on that team and in that program really helped her understand that. And so I think when she came here, she obviously blended last year with our team, and she was on a team that was a championship team. And I think now she understands her role is bigger. She's going to roll into this next year, and it's going to be bigger. And she's going to have more responsibility each year. And I think that she's the type of player that really gets that.
That's pretty awesome. So what's your future? What do you want to do beyond basketball someday?
I definitely want to be a photographer, but I was thinking about playing pro.
Okay.
After.
Lots of opportunities for that.
Yes.
So keep doing it as long as you can, right?
Right.
You can
Awesome.
take pictures while you're playing professional basketball.
Exactly. all the different places you get to go.
Right.
Absolutely.
That's great. Demara, thanks so much. Continued success, and all the best as the season continues for you guys.
Thank you so much.
All right, that's Demara Allen, UTSA basketball, and we'll talk about the game coming up tomorrow with Temple and the week ahead as well. Call Cowboy. UTSA and online at goutsa.com. What are you expecting from the Owls tomorrow night?
A lot of speed. They really get up and down the floor really well. Interestingly enough, at Temple, when we beat them, it was a really low-scoring game.
Yeah.
Neither team could throw it in the ocean. And I think it was the time we played and that
Right
doubleheader.
after Christmas,
Yeah, the
doubleheader,
doubleheader.
yeah.
And it was
And then we got to spend the night in the Dallas airport.
yeah, exactly. So tomorrow, I mean, they play really hard. They play extremely high pace. Guards can really score the ball, so we'll have to be as good as we were on Saturday again.
Does that come down to defense, transition defense? So those are some of the things you're looking for?
Well, transition defense for sure, and I think also, again, if we can execute offensively, make them play a little bit longer than probably they want to, and obviously put the ball in the basket some, at least you get your defense set. But they're really good in transition, and their little guard, she's the leading scorer in the conference right now, Turner, and she's special. She can put the ball in the hole.
I was asking Austin about this with Jordan Riley, who the men will see. When you play somebody that's the best scorer in the league, what do you do to slow her down? Because somehow, some way, they're going to go to the line. They're going to end up with their points, but you can also make them less effective by, I guess, make them shoot it more.
Yeah, I mean, they're one of those teams that it's hard because she's a high-volume shooter, and she can figure out ways to get it off no matter what you do. The hard part is that their other guards can really score the ball too. They have a big that's really good, so they're pretty balanced. Sometimes it just boils down to whether their shots are going in or not. But I think that if we can carry over our defensive philosophy from Saturday, I think we got a little bit away from worrying about certain individuals so much and got back to team defense, and we looked a lot better Saturday.
What does team defense look like in your mind as compared to maybe one or two people playing defense and nobody else doing it as well as you want?
Well, first of all, everybody has another game plan, and I think that's really critical that they're all on the same page. I also think communication is so huge, and that's been a struggle for our team because of the youth. And I mean, they've even told us. We've asked them, y'all talk so much off the court. What's the problem on? And they say they're just thinking. They're thinking so much about what they need to do, they can't get it out of their mouth. And I think that comes with experience. Demara's one of those that I'm trying to get her to be more vocal, and because she does know what she's doing, she just sometimes can't get it out. And but communication's the number one key. I mean, they have to all be on the same page. It's 5 people guarding the ball instead of 1. I think that's really key against Temple because they all can score it.
Adriana Robles, the freshman of the
Yeah.
week, the second time this year.
Yeah, I'm super proud of her. I mean, she's been thrown into a lot of fires this year, as all the young ones have, and she's responded very positively. I think it's a learning curve for her. We joke about it all the time. It's a process. Mm-hmm. She jokes. She said, "Is that the word of the year or what?" And I said, "Yeah, basically it is. It is a process." But she's learning, and she's she's going to be a really special point guard. She just has to go through the fires sometimes, and she had a really good week.
High school basketball will be winding down here in the next few weeks. How much do you get to recruit this time of the year, and how has recruiting changed for you with NIL and transfer and all that?
Well, it's changed a lot. Unfortunately, it's changed a lot. I mean, we don't focus as much on the high schools. We go watch players that we've signed. I just saw one last week in Waco, and I'll see another one next week. And you obviously want to see them on senior day or see them in the playoffs or whatever you can, and then we'll start to pay attention as playoffs go. But it's changed a lot, Andy. I'm not even going to lie about it. It's unfortunate that we don't pay as much attention to the high school kids.
Were you happy with the outcome of the Super Bowl?
I didn't really care. I was happy because Tariq.
Yeah.
That's really all. I mean, I hate to say it, Elliott, but that's the only reason why I pulled for the Seahawks was Tariq. Otherwise, it meant my Dolphins weren't in it. The Chiefs weren't in it. I could care less.
All right. Good luck this week against Temple in South Florida.
Thank you. Y'all too.
All right. That's Karen Aston. Thanks to Austin.